what you want right there, and you know he spent the entire offseason throwing hundreds, I'd probably say thousands of passes, getting ready for that moment. The first throw of the new season. He's dreamed about it, thought about it, and now it's out of the way.
Yeah, 1 for 1, a lot more to go. On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked out before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Big Calais Campbell fighting through to make the play in the backfield.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Here's Wilson. Oh, that'll be incomplete. Oh, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Wilson to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
On 4th down, punt coming from Braden Mann. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They were successful last time finding the end zone on their opening drive of the season. And they'll get another shot here with a 1st and 10. The drive will commence with a run by J.K. Dobbins. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
From the 22, Jackson. That's for Bateman, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Ashton Davis. And he brings this one back. It's a pick-6 and a Jet touchdown. Those free safeties, they get to sit back there if they've got good pass rushers like this team does. Read like a book. He read it like a book and took it in for 6.
And if they use their eyes well and their anticipation skills, they can make big plays, just as what we saw, a free safety's dream. Follow the football, go to it, and take it the other way.
Zuerlein connects on the extra point, and we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Now Jackson taps his forward jet sweep. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down. Boy, an effective play there, getting their wideouts involved in the run game.
And what they're always hoping on that type of a play, that they can get to the end of the line and have a chance to turn it upfield as he did there. That means they controlled the blocking and took care of the defensive end of the outside linebacker to give him that lane.
And I guess I need to clarify, I said getting their wideouts involved in the run game, but of course that was actually a pass as he popped it forward. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
And able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line.
Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling him in the huddle right now.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They'll try to run for it with Dobbins. And he's got a first down as he's up to the 48.
I like this focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need one. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up 2.
2 first downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10. And now Jackson will look to throw it. That's caught. It's DeMarcus Robinson. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
Partner, you know when we call a game, we talk about Lamar Jackson and his speed, his elusiveness, and the ability to get him on the ground, how tough that is for a defense. But how about his development as a thrower, as a professional?
7-7, our score after 1. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They'll run up the gut with Dobbins. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped him. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
And this is going to be hauled in by the tight end, Andrews. And that's going to be another first down as the tackle made at the Jets' 12-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
Good job there of getting his tight end involved because he lines up on the right side of the formation, just works his way across the field. I really like how they were in sync on that one. He spotted the open gap in the zone, and his quarterback found him, and they get a first down.
No gain on the play there. 2nd down. They'll go again with Dobbins. This carry, despite the extra effort, will be stopped short of the 10. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. On 3rd down, Jackson. And it's intercepted at the goal line. And the Jets will take over here at their own 14-yard line.
Definitely not the ideal time to see that mistake, partner, because this is still a one-possession game, and that's at least a field goal that just vanished with that turnover. Now, pressure's on defensively to prevent that pick from turning into points for the other side.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. They were forced to punt on their initial drive of the new season. Now they're ready to go as they begin again with a 1st and 10. And he'll lose yardage on this one back to the 13. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now Wilson. And that is incomplete.
I didn't like the look of that play right from the beginning. I thought he should have seen the coverage that was there, tried to force it in. That one, he's fortunate, just fell incomplete.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Wilson. And he's got a man, Corey Davis. And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. Wilson on the hook up to Davis. 1st down, Jets.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Out out of the gun. They run it with Hall. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's the veteran Justin Houston who got in there to make the stop.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to it.
Sack by Calais Campbell. An 11-yard loss of the play. Brings up 3rd down.
So now Wilson and the Jets with a 3rd and long here following the sack. Throwing on 3rd and long. Wilson. That is caught. It's Uzomah. An incredible play there. They do get big yardage, but they're still stopped a yard or two short, and it's 4th down. Now the Jets send on Braden Mann to punt. A 40-yard punt, 1 yard on the return, and the Ravens, they'll take over.
At their own 40-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover the play did on the last one.
Play action. Now Jackson. He's got a man complete. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. That goes for a gain of 31. What a luxury to have a tight end that can run a post route like that.
It's a luxury for the offense. It's an extreme luxury for the quarterback. Always has a great outlet and usually able to come up with a nice play down the middle of the field.
Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. Add the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Jackson. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. A give up the middle to Dobbins. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Backed up here. Tough spot. Needing 11 yards to pick up the first. From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Now a second timeout called for by the defense as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense. So he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
And that is no good. And this game will remain tied here in quarter number 2.
Well, he might be the best kicker the game's ever seen, and we've seen him hit from 66, which is the all-time record. But anything 60-plus, that's a very low percentage kick. Don't tell him he doesn't believe it, but this one winds up no good.
Now Wilson on first down. Uncorks one for Davis. And he's got it inside the 10. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. That one good for 37 yards.
They started this drive with terrific field position, and it's going to get even better after that play. Had great options with where they started, so they decided to press their advantage, and it paid off.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Wilson fires quickly for Davis. So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. And now what we have here, a 3rd and goal. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. A big play if you think about it right now in this season opener. It's 3rd and goal. Wilson will throw again. This is caught. Touchdown, Jets. Breece Hall, his first NFL reception, goes for 6. And the Jets will take the lead here in the final minute of the first half. Zuerlein now for the PAT. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away. Duvernay going to sit on this in the end zone, so it'll come out to the 25. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And within trailing, there is still enough time to try to string a few plays together, maybe get into field goal range. Oh, for the 3rd time, Jackson going to be intercepted. Picked off by Ashton Davis. And they will finally put it into the return, but not until he takes it back all the way inside the 10-yard line. An unfortunate sequence there, trying to get points before intermission, but now the interception, and their opponents have a chance to possibly pad their lead.
Yeah, they had an opportunity there, and they weren't able to capitalize on it. That's something that could come back and haunt them later. They're begging their defense now to keep them from scoring.
And this will be caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. C.J. Uzomah, a 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Jets will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Zuerlein good with a PAT. And it's now 21-7. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away. Taken at the goal line. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further.
For most people, the excitement of a kickoff return is to see a long one that goes back in the opposite direction. But for the guys covering it, it's being able to stop them deep in their own territory. How about that incredible form tackle right there? Shoulder into ball carrier, and down he goes.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Well, not much time remains here in this first half. We'll see if they can get something out of this drive, at least a field goal. They could certainly use it, down by 2 scores. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Throwing is Jackson. Right back to Duvernay. That's complete. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. They go play action now. Jackson. He's going to throw one up for the end zone. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn, getting set for quarter number 3 here. We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember in that first half, good through the air and really all around an outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well, and most importantly, partner,
and they went to the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
Absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
From up near the 40 now after the big play to start, here's another 1st and 10. To throw is Wilson. He's going to look deep for more. And this nearly an interception, but it's incomplete. Well, a turnover really would have helped him there, but not to be.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep. Try and throw some air under it and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they run successful.
And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. So good coverage there defensively as it looks like they'll force a punt on this opening drive of the 3rd.
Well, let's coach them up a little bit from right here in the booth. That's exactly what they needed to do. They need to start stringing together some stops, turning the ball over back to their offense, and trying to get back into this game.
Yeah, a couple scores down, but they can eat into that quickly with a nice drive here on the other side. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And their defense did its job by forcing the punt to start things out. And now, Charles, can the offense get in gear?
I think, partner, you can sense them saying, okay, the first half was theirs, but now let's get the momentum back on our side. We forced a punt. Now let's go downfield and score. If we do that, we'll be set up well for this second half.
Play action. It's Jackson. And he's got it. What a catch on the sideline. 27 yards there, a 1st down. A great job pulling that one in from a guy, as we know, who can really blaze. He's got a lot of speed.
And that speed can work for him so many different ways. Sometimes he just takes off and goes and just runs past people. Sometimes you get people to back off so far that you can catch everything underneath. But still, at some point in the game, you're probably going to have to make some contested catches, right? Sometimes you have to go up and beat a defender for the football. He has that in his arsenal as well.
Showed it right there. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's a give to Dobbins. And he'll take it across midfield down into Jet territory.
43 yards on the ground for him so far.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
On third down, here's Dobbins. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
Off the play fake to Dobbins. Here's Jackson.
Gonna let one fly for Robinson.
And this is going to fall to the ground, incomplete. That very nearly their 4th pick of the game. Instead, second down.
But you got to think that sooner or later, they're going to hit one of those. But the coverage has been excellent thus far, and it was again on the last play.
So second down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Now it's Jackson. All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up third.
He certainly did his best to find something on that run, but there just wasn't enough time to make it happen. Nice effort there, avoiding the sack and getting back to the line of scrimmage. That one certainly could have ended up worse.
Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on third down. Jackson from the shotgun. He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. Carl Lawson in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that will lead to 4th down. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. This is taken at the 23. Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. And all the way in, touchdown, New York.
When you got a guy that fast back there to receive punts, that's a nightmare for the guy game planning, the special teams coach, but it's also a nightmare for the punter. Sometimes they get so nervous that they miss-hit the ball and kick it right to him.
The PAT would extend their lead, but there is a flag on the play.
And they'll accept that penalty.
So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
Second and 10, third quarter of the season opener. Now a handoff for Dobbins. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. They go play action with Jackson.
And this one incomplete. And another throw that really could have been, maybe should have been intercepted. That would have been number 4. Instead, it's 4th down.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable. And that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
Just a net of 31 here, 40-yard punt, 9 on the return.
And the Jets will take over.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. They're continuing to rock and roll, and at intermission, maybe sometimes you fear after such a good first half of a letdown, but that wasn't the case.
And what I remember most about being in those situations is exactly what you're talking about. You almost have that sense of satisfaction. You're like, we're doing really well. I remember one time someone saying, winning's fun, but so is playing really well. Why would we want to do otherwise? That was the message, to keep the intensity up, to keep things going. And that's exactly what we're seeing here from this team.
He rifles one that's intercepted.
It's Chuck Clark picking it off. And the Ravens are going to take over at their own 41.
That, Charles, the first interception he's thrown here in year number 2.
And I know it's just the first one, but didn't it feel like what we saw from him last year, where he was plagued by this type of a play? And they thought that, over the offseason, going into a second season, some of that would go away. Thus far, still looks a lot like his rookie year.
Meanwhile, Jackson's throw taken in here by Jackson.
That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. First down. Off the play fake, here's Jackson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And a great return as he gets this all the way down close to the 30-yard line.
So that changes things. You get the interception, and then to boot, a good return tacked on.
And really it was down to him versus the quarterback on the return, and that's one you would think the defender would win. But a nice job there of seeing the play all the way to the end and making the
And this is intercepted. He was trying to get it to Davis. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey.
And the Ravens are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line.
CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be...
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by the linebacker, C.J. Mosley. And he brings this one back. It's a pick six and a Jet touchdown.
Well, if there was any thought that this thing might turn around for this offense in the second half, I think those thoughts pretty well dashed after that interception return there.
It just has not been a good outing for this unit whatsoever. There's no other way to say it. They've been overmatched, haven't performed to the level that they've needed, and that throw there is just going to contribute to this game getting out of hand.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
Big loss here as he's taken down.
Quincy Williams worked his way back for that sack.
Even the most elusive quarterbacks have those tough days where they can't avoid sacks, and this is one of them. 3rd time he's gone down. He might develop some happy feet now, wanting to escape the pocket and try and gain more yardage with his legs.
He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play. But sometimes you go ahead and try to. They tried to get it all back on that one. Weren't able to do so.
Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. Only able to get back a yard for his efforts, and that leads us to 4th down. before they can get the punt away. Whistles as we've come to the end of the third quarter of action. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Here we go. It's Jackson on fourth down. And now here's another interception. And he brings this one back. It's a pick six and a Jet touchdown.
Well, this one was already ugly, and now it's just kind of becoming a feast on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, partner, this is a unit that knows they've got this game in the bag with this huge lead, and it's going to drive their coaches crazy because they're telling them, play it straight, do all the right things, but these guys are going to be freewheeling now. All of them are going to take chances, and that one pays off with an INT and a return for 6.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away.
No run back here for Duvernay. Touchback out to the 25.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
And they knew coming in that this would be a tough place to go in and win a season opener. But this has just been a performance, to be frank, not to be proud of here as they trail big in this fourth quarter.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. From the gun, Jackson. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. They find some open field here.
Finding room at midfield. And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Jackson now. This one hauled in, and again it's Robinson. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw.
The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
And he's taken down at the 7 after a gain of 7. The Ravens on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This time it's 3rd and 3. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Give him 7 on the tuck and run, and it'll get him a new set of downs.
It hasn't been the cleanest game for him, but there was a sign of improvement as he looks towards the next one. Nice bit of scrambling to move the sticks, and even more importantly, he didn't risk adding another interception.
That is caught. It's Bateman for a Raven touchdown.
A 1-yard touchdown pass.
And the Ravens get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this fourth quarter deficit.
Tucker with the extra point, and that'll cut the lead down a bit to 28. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The New York offense taking over for their next possession.
And this is really the start to the season that you're hoping for if you're a coach or a player. They've got the big lead here in the fourth quarter, and now can really take some time off the clock.
And a good job of just fighting through one tackle there to pick up about 3. 2nd down coming up.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. They keep it on the ground, but this time it's Murray. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up. Again, it's Murray. And they're going to get him down well short of the 1st as he can only get this to the 30. Here's the Jets punter now. He's been terrific so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. A 40-yard punt, no return. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to...
And that's caught inside the 35.
And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line. Well, for Lamar Jackson, we know all about how dangerous he is running the football, but he can really sling it as well, and he connects on a big one there.
And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there.
And that's a rare bright spot in what's overall been a pretty poor showing so far, but you've got to figure when you're down a bunch, why not take some big shots? And they connect.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He's going to let this go deep for Jackson. And it'll be intercepted.
Sauce Gardner picks it off.
And now the rookie's free. 20. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 and a Jet touchdown. Now Zuerlein on to add the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
Duvernay going to sit on this in the end zone, so it'll come out to the 25.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Even though they were able to force the punt defensively, still a big hole to climb out of, especially at this late stage of the contest.
No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. They had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Now Jackson. And my goodness, another interception.
Sauce Gardner picks it off.
And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
Well, they've got the huge lead. Now they have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road. It helps seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
And they take a knee. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. And they'll indeed take a knee. Sunday comes to a close. Good to be back in the booth with you, my friend.
And it's good to be back in the booth with you as well. And we know that not everyone's going to start the season 1-0, right? Half the league is going to have a loss on their record. But everyone's got to build off of that opening. And how many coaches tell us every single year, you make your most progress between week 1 and week 2. We'll see how both of these teams progress the rest of this season.
So for the Jets, it's a fantastic start as they roll to a blowout victory here in the season opener. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Cleveland Browns. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, they obviously fall to 0-1 with the defeat. And they will be at home next week to take on the Miami Dolphins.